Rui, welcome to another Chief podcast where today we shine the light on Micro Focus. And Micro Focus, a very, very key organization, I think ranks amongst the top 7 globally in the world. A huge organization, I think 10,000 employees, if I'm right. And
correct,
about 40,000 customers. To talk to us today about the Micro Focus service offering, what he's doing in adding value to customers and to their products, is Rui Martins. He's the Vice President of Renewals Sales for Europe, Middle East, and Africa, as well as Latin America, LATAM. He hails from Madrid, Spain. Great country, speaks many languages, and really is well steeped in the Micro Focus organization, operates at an executive level. Rui, you've got a number of years with the organization. I'm going to go straight into it with you and say, why Micro Focus for you, and why now is the Micro Focus story so important to you?
yeah. So Dennis, thank you for the invitation and to be here sharing some thoughts about it. So Micro Focus is a company that has been in the market for more than 30 years. And why now? Based on the portfolio we have, we are helping organizations to connect the old legacy technologies to the new trendy technologies. How we do that? Basically, we are recovering the past investments that they have done in our technology and promoting them to take advantage of the new functionalities or new solutions that we're putting in the market. I can give you several examples. Sometimes people think that COBOL, so Micro Focus, is having the runtime of COBOL, where all the majority of financial institutions, government, still develop in COBOL. And currently, we think about COBOL as a legacy, old thing that is a monolithic. So how can I use these monolithic and move these to a cloud environment? So we are helping organizations based on their past investments on technology and where they have developed their systems of records to migrate them to the cloud without rewriting, without increasing risks in their business, by only using our technology to use this. This is only one simple example how Micro Focus is helping organizations now take advantage of the trends and the technologies that are opening new ideas and new ways of working.
Isn't it interesting that one of the first languages that we wrote and we had to learn at university was COBOL, wasn't it? And yet it's full circle again.
For me, it was strange, I joined the organization years ago, and with 17 years, I started developing COBOL for ICL corporation, to be honest, that don't exist anymore. But I was developing COBOL, and it was Micro Focus COBOL way at the time. And now I'm leading the sales renewal organization for that is roughly 30% of the world revenue of the company. And I'm leading this organization, so it's exciting for me. It's very exciting.
Yeah. So, Rui, I found it very intriguing as part of my preparation for our conversation. I went online to discover what your own employees have to say about your organization, and I was intrigued. I found some common threads, and I was wondering how this translates into customer value for you. So, 3 or 4 comments that they'd made: that the organization is incredibly people-focused, humble leadership, a strong sense of ownership in the business. Yes, it's a highly technical organization, but very, very competent people. And I thought that the 4th comment was very interesting to me, is that despite it being a highly technical and competent group of people, they laugh a lot. And I was wondering how culture plays a role, or the culture of Micro Focus plays a role, and how that translates into client delivery for you as a leader.
Yeah, and I think it's a relevant question on a company we are, and I don't want to run away from answering the points, and maybe I will ask you to repeat the points in some extent, but our people, it's really important for us. The development that we dedicate to our employees is critical. As an example, we are in the last months of our fiscal year, and in my organization and where I reside, it's roughly 1,200 employees. We are conducting career development talks. Okay, I think two per week we are. So, and you can ask me as a leader, say, hey, Rui, should we, on the last months of the quarter of the fiscal year, dedicate this time? Should we get more to execution to get to the result? But there is the sense of responsibility to our employees and how we can help them develop. They are key for our success, and they are crucial for our success. We have the luckily, because in our leadership, we are very inclusive. We have a diverse organization. So that forced also people to open and experience different realities. If we don't have this type of environment, that will imply in our, I will say, in our results, in our relation with our customers, because we will not have people that are enthusiastic, committed, go the extra mile. Because the extra miles we go is always for the customers in order to deliver value in whatever technology or services that we offer to them. So if we don't have that, it's very good. It's going to be very, very difficult to maintain this high standard that we want and that we achieved and we want to continue to achieve in Micro Focus.
Clearly, your leadership is indicative of happy employees translating to happy clients. It's been a very busy time.
It needs to be. Then it needs to be. We know in our personal lives. So I think it's a principle. If we don't use these simple principles as we as humans and we have our own lives, how can you not do it in your own business, providing services to our customers?
Rui, I would imagine it's been a very busy time for you. You mentioned you're coming up to financial year end. I would imagine that there's been a lot of product releases, client engagement, staff training. How have you as a leader been able to balance all this, and where has your focus been?
Yeah, so it's a challenge between operational versus strategic and finding the balance. And going back a little bit on your previous question about people. So I can tell you that to my organization, I dedicate myself time to my direct reports, and even not for my direct report. So I expect in my organization, everyone has time for talking about people. And that is sometimes very difficult during the pressure we have to deliver results and commit and overcommit the results. But what I can tell you is that we are preparing ourselves for the new fiscal year. The year is done. Of course, we still have 2 weeks to go to close the year. We will have our kickoffs and our announcements where we will release new versions of our technologies, where the customers will be able to take advantage of what we have been developing, so on. We are preparing ourselves. We are training our sales organization to be more prepared to help customers to transform their infrastructures. And as also for my organization in the sales renewal organization, we have done roughly 1 month ago an intensive training of for 120 reps to prepare themselves. And the concept was level up. So we need to level up our standards, how we deliver value for the investments the customers have, and that is our focus is how can we deliver more value for the service the customer is paying to us.
Excellent. Talking about the client base, you are very focused and very active in emerging markets. Is that a focus for you? And how is that different for you as a leader and leading your sales team?
So emerging markets for us is area of growth in our organization. We as a mature organization operating in the generic market more than 30 years, we see the emerging markets, and everyone has a different concept of emerging markets, as the potential of growth. For us, the excitement coming from these growth areas is the diverse ecosystem that we encounter, and also that based on experiences on more mature markets, we can accelerate the adoption of technologies for these specific markets. And we have the technology to bridge also the gap from traditional, more legacy technology to more modern and more cloud-based infrastructures and services. So it's a point of growth in our organization for sure.
Your clients, I would imagine, are struggling with a legacy environment, having to transition to new products, sunsetting. Sunsetting technology is hard to do. There's vested interests in the legacy environment. You specialize in helping clients with this transition.
Yeah, so sorry, then it's connecting the old in the new. That is our motto. Is connecting the old in the new, and how can we help organizations to doing that connection? And if I take my responsibility inside of the organization, that is the sales renewals or the customer support, the support services that customers pay, I can tell you that sometimes it's wrongly perceived by the market on the perpetual licenses that there is an investment behind, and customers need to pay a support fee, yearly maintenance support fee. This support fee, I think it's clear understanding that it is composed in two main blocks. One is the ability to pick up the phone 24 hours per 7 and have someone to support them, okay, to help them put something to run. The other thing is how we give value back. So if I am a company that invested in a IT operations management technology 10 years ago, and if I still paying my support and maintenance, I will be able to take advantage for all of the developments that we have done during these last years. So it's a protection of investment that we are giving back to the customers. So, or even if you can, and I think it's well known, there was I think a year ago, a security breach. Log4j was a huge security breach that all software vendors use specific runtimes, and there was this Log4j runtime that had a security breach. We, in 24 hours, we patched all our cloud environments in SaaS, and we were compliant. Other vendors had weeks and months to try to figure it out. What was the exposure in their technology? We also, for the customers that have perpetual licenses, in a couple of days, we proposed workarounds and patches for them to upgrade their technologies to be compliant and secure and minimizing their exposures to threats. So when people say, "Oh, it's a huge cost on a yearly value," I would say this is like an insurance and an investment protection, because I believe that they can trust on our roadmap, and we invest millions yearly on research and development to creating new functionalities, new support platforms for them to expand the usage. So and when I go back and say the level up, where we are training our sales organization for the renewal business, level up is also to explain to customers the advantage they have to taking the support and services, because sometimes they think about it's only picking up the phone, but it's not. It's much more than picking up the phone is the lowest of the topics.
You're essentially
Sorry,
mitigating.
I went,
yeah, that's great.
I went a little
Because
bit.
you're essentially mitigating their risk, aren't you? You're doing more than picking up a phone. You are giving them comfort to sleep at night in mitigating their risk with cybersecurity issues, DevSecOps. I would imagine
Everything. Yeah, for sure. So and also creating a community. So when we have specifically flagship technology in our portfolios, we create communities around them to basically force the knowledge and also allow customers to accelerate their deployment, their usage based on the perceived knowledge that is in the market. It's not always very easy to accomplish because of course there is competition, there is other technologies out there, but the pillars that we have, I think we are market leaders in the pillars that we are. So we are continue to invest our technologies. We protect the past investments they have done in the licenses, and even if customers want to take advantage of SaaS technologies, we protect also the past investments on our services to help them to adopt our SaaS platforms if they want.
from a SaaS point of view, I would imagine that hybrid environments with a balance of on-prem, there's a shift to cloud. How are clients interacting with you in understanding living almost in a schizophrenic environment, but having to manage both? How is that relevant for Micro Focus as an organization, and how do you drive value in that context?
So there are two aspects of that question that only apply to a company like Micro Focus. One is that the market demands us to offer more services over the cloud with SaaS services, and where we are providing and migrating and make the technology SaaS ready for customers to take adoption of our technology easily and with less friction. The other aspect is we allow or we enable organizations to convert their technology to be cloud ready. So we are not only offering services for them to adopt a cloud, we are helping them from ground up to take advantage of clouds. So even if you allow me to talk about one specific technology, huge organizations right now are being focused because of the cost pressure to adopt multiple cloud providers. Okay, and we can have all the cloud providers from Amazon, Azure, Google, and sometimes several business units inside of these customers subscribe, and with different SLAs and with different cost models, and they have their own traditional data centers. So we enable organizations to have a seamless view between on-premise and cloud, and have governance between what is happening in the organization from the public cloud to the private cloud to the fixed legacy environments on a seamless technology. We have technology like Cloud Broker, where you will be able to see which providers, external public providers, and which SLAs and which cost versus your own. And you can decide between different applications and services that you need to provide to your internal customers, which are the best cost-effective models. And we have the technology that allow organization to do that. And technology is HEM, other cloud management, as the letter says. So it's part of our portfolio on IT operations management. and we have huge organizations that are using this technology right now to take advantage, to control and govern the adoption of the cloud. Going back a little bit on your question, it's a significant pressure to seek adoption of cloud from huge organizations, not also huge organizations, but the systems of records are still on premise.
Absolutely. Okay? Why? Because of data security concerns. Absolutely.
Yeah, and there is a lot of regulations. But again, a lot of the data centers were full of technology or infrastructure that can be externalized, can be adopted by or provided by the cloud providers, the hyperscalers. But again, connecting the both worlds is where is our art, our strength as a company, and where we are placing I think a good momentum of the market right now.
So on that, what does this mean for you from a commercial perspective? Where's the focus? What are you driving, and why?
Yeah, so the commercial perspective is a broader question. Of course, our focus is always on the customer, how the customer perceives the value for the services or technology that we sell. Some of the customers right now, because of the adoption of cloud subscription-based modeling, have a significant increase of operational costs. Of course, these can be different between each organization because they can understand CapEx and OpEx different ways, but traditionally speaking, it's very straightforward. And since I'm not a finance person, if it's a subscription or a SaaS, traditionally goes to more operational costs because it's a service that almost pay as you go, is operational cost, versus when there is an acquisition of a technology, more capital costs, investments, okay? And the maintenance stream associated to the capital cost is operational cost. And now we are seeing some challenges on an organization that adopted dramatically SaaS and subscription because they didn't control their environment. The costs went through the roof. And this is sometimes putting some brakes on the adoption of some technologies. For us, we are prepared to work on both environments. We have specifically different commercial offers to allow customers to take advantage. With the end state that is the customer has the decision point. The customer can decide what they want to do. Okay? Of course, we will build the best offer possible for the scope and for the ecosystem that we have in front of us. But it's always the customer has the right to choose going on premise, adopting SaaS, or go to subscription.
So, Rui, can you give us a practical example where, as an organization, you've been able to demonstrate this value that illustrates the points that you've just made?
Yeah, I will not disclose the name. It's a telco, a pan-European telco organization with headquarters in UK. That basically they are one of our strategic customers, where they have during the last 10 years invested millions of our technology. And of course, based on the investments they have done, they have significant operational costs associated to our technology. And we had to work together with them, maintaining the level of service that they expect from us and the quality of the delivery of the technology that we have, how they can refurbish the past investments they have done in our technology for new technology. Okay, and we have these capabilities in our organization. The lucky of being on a company like Micro Focus that we have technology from mainframe technology to security, passing through DevOps, and so on and so on. So we have a significant portfolio that allow to in each of the moment of the life cycle of the customer to provide value in our technology. So yes.
And I would imagine analytics plays a strong role too, and certainly a key element thereof is your secret sauce of built-in analytics.
Correct. So we have a specifically pillar of our portfolio that is vertical, is talking about big data and analytics. What we have done is, since based on our heritage, of course, Micro Focus is what is here today because they acquire some technology during their life. But now the big effort that we are doing in our R&D and in our product development teams is how we provide, using our own technology of big data and analytics, embed these technology in each of the portfolios and products and solutions where customers can have more value from day one. And this is what we are doing. This is what we are doing.
Fantastic. It's a wonderful segue into an area that I'm sure your clients ask you a lot about. They would ask you about trends, or what trends are coming down that they need to be aware of. And potentially understanding those trends, there is certainly enabling software that you offer. So 2 questions. One, has there been an uptake in certain areas of software? And maybe you can share with us a few of the trends that are useful for your audience to be aware of.
Yeah, so the trends that we are, and maybe because of the portfolio we represent and we address in the market, security has been significant pickup. Okay, currently customers or companies are developing more applications, more services online, and security vulnerabilities are all around. So being able to identify data and identities and connect both, it's been a great, a huge topic for us, and where we have specific technology that can address that. Even on other areas like that I mentioned about the hybrid cloud management, because customers adopted in the last 12 months, 24 months, the hyperscalers, they went to Azure, they went to Amazon, and now they need to control it. And we have the technology, and we are addressing several challenges right now or helping customers addressing the challenges they have based on our offerings. And these two are the biggest ones for the trend. The other aspect is the things that I've mentioned in the start about legacy applications, where we are, that maybe sometimes they are residing in very heavily cost infrastructure like ZOS, IBM ZOS infrastructures, or IS400, or even very legacy Unix boxes and things like that, and how they can go and adopt and migrate these applications without needing to rewrite the application, increasing the risks for the organization, and migrate them to a Kubernetes or Amazon or whatever. So these are the trends that we are following more in the market, and we are in the first row supporting organizations take advantage of our portfolio.
So with that in mind, what are some of the changes based on your innovation internally that your organization is contemplating that clients can look forward to? Maybe you can just lift the veil slightly and give us a quick insight into what's under the hood that is coming down the line that the Micro Focus clients would be excited about.
Yeah, so I will not disclose of course, the announcements that we will do in the beginning of the year, but I can go on a little bit back on our statements in the beginning, where we talk about the support and maintenance services. When I talk about the support maintenance services, what I can tell you is a secure investment. If you have invested in our technology, the value we deliver to you is that we have significant investment in R&D, that we are developing new functionalities and new platforms for you to support and take advantage. So for me, it's more about customers having their platforms under support. They will be compliant. They will be secured in some extent, but also they will have a protected investment when the new releases will come. They will take advantage of that.
If I were to ask you to put yourself in the client's position, if you were the client today, what should they be taking advantage of in the next 12 months? And what would you advise that client?
So since we have, of course, we have, as you said, 40,000 customers worldwide. We have been operating in the market for more than 30 years. Of course, we have customers that didn't move at the speed as we moved from technology point of view. What I will advise the customers to look for is understanding what assets they have, which technology they have in production, understand what are the last versions of our technology, what are the benefits of that technologies that we have already available for you, and take advantage of them. Because sometimes customers, the value they perceive is based on the old version they have deployed, the old technology that 10 years ago, and they need to open the book to see what we have developed during these years and what are the value that they can receive immediately from day zero and take advantage. Of course, there is a cost of change, and sometimes that is one of the things that are blocking customers to move so fast as at the same pace as we are developing new functionalities and services. So for me, look back and see the relation and the technology you have acquired from Micro Focus, understand how you are using it, understand what we have developed, and talk with your partner or sales representative, or even to our support sales representative, that we are more than welcome to share what are the functionalities that you can take versus the version you have deployed. And of course, we can help you to take advantage of that with our partner ecosystem or with our professional services for you to migrate to less versions. Because the less versions will give you value. And sometimes we only focus on cost, but we have made a huge investment to give you value. So take advantage of that. That is the only topic that I will say to customers right now. Take advantage of the investments you have done.
Fantastic. Rui, consistently throughout our chat today, there's one keyword that has come through in almost every aspect of our conversation, and that's the word value. And that's how you ended, and I think that's how we're going to end today. Thank you for the value that you've brought to this session, and we trust that the learnings that we've got out of the session will be transferred to your clients through this wonderful channel of knowledge share. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Danny. Thank you for the opportunity.